Welcome to the channel, the newly branded Miss Junk's Bits. Yeah, this is the channel formerly known as DC Legends Junk. Gonna give anyone just a quick heads up as to what this channel was and what it's going to be. I was playing a game called DC Legends, which was a great game with a great community, but unfortunately, the company that made it just literally hated its customers, so they destroyed the universe. So I thought I'd go back to Warhammer, a company who about 12 years ago hated its customers, decided to destroy an entire universe. And so, but I know I sound like an idiot. I sound like someone who responds to Nigerian prince scams, thinking this time will be different. But this time will be different. And the one thing about Games Workshop, they didn't really all the. I guess I kind of get what they did. They got rid of fantasy because they wanted the intellectual property rights, and so they could sell more minis and make more money, which apparently they're doing. So whatever. So I'm gonna be back there. I'm going back into it. Warhammer is one of those things. Yeah, I don't know. In the States, at least, it feels like talking about Warhammer, you feel a little bit like a Southern pastor talking about his porn collection. Like you don't want to, don't tell no one needs to know about this. Just hide it in the closet, in boxes, and hopefully no one sees it. That's where it sort of felt like for me. I do, but I do like playing. I found a great community, and I really enjoyed painting miniatures. I wanted to get into it specifically for that. But also now that the Warhammer has the old world coming out, I thought, well, why not go back to there? Why not give that a shot? And the army I decided to start with was the Dark Elves. Let me show you here. Oh, here we go. There's the first one that I did. It's the Daughters of Cain, which is the first. Just ignore the entire mess behind that box, by the way. We don't need to talk about that. Yeah, the Daughters of Cain, which I thought that was like it. That's all that survived when they destroyed the entire old world, apparently, for the Age of Sigmar. But no, they have a whole nother army that's now working with dwarves or something. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It is what it is. So, but I bought a bunch of the old out of print kits, thinking that that's the best I could do. Well, c'est la vie. Here we are. So I'm going to talk a little bit about painting these. By the way, yeah, all right. My hands may be a little big, but Jesus Christ, it looks like I could pick up a truck axle with these things. Like this is the sort of thing. Like if someone asked me to choke them during sex, he would. I mean, yeah, it would not go well. I'd be on trial. So these are just really small. So let's go and let's just say it's the camera angle, but also these are definitely very, very, very tiny. So yes, my hands look big. No, that's only half. It's only a half truth. All right, just use your imagination. Oh, Jesus, look at these things. Like, it's creepy. It's like nightmares. Let's talk a little bit about. These are the first ones I painted. I decided to go with a gray base coat to try and get back into it. I wanted to relearn everything. I wanted to start. Now, I used to use a black base coat, but I wanted to try the gray because I always before I quit painting, I wanted to start using a white base coat because it really makes the colors pop a little bit more. And then I said, well, how about I go in between, go right between the two instead of black or white. I'll just get gray. So I did. I got gray. Not a fan. This is like these three were the first three that I painted. Not really a fan. The hair was an after the fact. Like I originally painted that brown, I think, or something like that. I'll talk about that in a second. But I really was not happy. Like I thought the skin tone, which still is very, very patchy. It's very monotone. It's very one note. Yeah, she needs to get her Irish ass in the sun because this is just. I'm not very happy with it. Yeah, I got the eyes okay, but that's about it. I went back later and decided, all right, I need to figure out what's going on with the paints because I used to be able to blend a lot better than that. Let's see. So then I started practicing a little bit on the hair and pretty happy with it. This I'm not as happy with. It's because I was using a different kind of orange paint, but you can actually see some of the brown sticking out there. I'm not too concerned with that. This is not going to be an army that I'm going to enter in any painting competitions. This is going to be an army that I have just to use when the old world comes out. But with all the patchiness, I thought, well, maybe it's because it's a gray base coat. Maybe I'll try rebase, spraying them in black, try these out, try it again. I was getting kind of the same thing. And I'll tell you why in a second. So what I ended up doing, I found out, well, yeah, these I did a little bit different. I decided to do like a Courtney Love look on their eyes. I don't know why. I thought that'd be a fun thing to have, like a streaky thing. I mean, they have a Courtney Love face, but also like someone who's been punched in the mouth, which I don't think that's, yeah, I don't know. Look at that cockeyed look. All right. She's very self-conscious about her lazy eye, so please don't bring it up. What happened was, with the paints, I was apparently using dry brush paint. They didn't have separate paints like that. They had paint and they had washes. Now they have dry paint, layer paint, base paint, contrast paint, technical paint, which nothing like that, which, let me open it up here. I mean, I guess it's for making like a mud sort of thing. It sort of looks like a weird chocolate dessert after you've digested it. But I need to give that a shot. It seems like a good idea. I was not ready for all these different... We had one kind of paint and one wash. You just watered down the paint to the consistency you wanted and you were good. They also have this thing called contrast paint, which I can tell you right now, I absolutely hate this with a passion. And I don't know why I got the largest possible bottle of it, but it really, maybe I'm using it wrong. And if you know how to use that and you're like, you think it's the best thing ever, I think that's probably for speed painting. And you just slap one coat of purple on like this area, one coat of contrast flesh in the other. Boom, you're done. And it automatically puts in the shadows and highlights somewhat. Whatever. It is what it is. They also have this shade, which I was assuming is sort of like the washes used to be. And that's how I was using them. The problem is they tend to be very, very dark. Like if you notice, like the small of her back is very, very dark. But it's fine. It's actually fine. But yeah, now that I'm using the right kinds of paint for the flesh, I'm feeling a little bit better. This is where I'm at now. Like this one, like you can kind of, I need to get a better camera if I'm going to do this, because clearly this is not going to focus right. You can really see, like, I don't know why I keep showing you her ass, but that's where some of the best shading is. Let me bring up this one. There, like you really see like highlights, lowlights, and I'm pretty happy with the way the skin came out here. I'm not so thrilled with the boots. I was trying to do trying to figure out where the light source is. Problem being, of course, that this moves and it's in different light sources at different times, so it's not gonna look entirely perfect. But these are the two I'm working on now, and look, I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna do all sorts of non-metallic metals. I'm really just gonna slap some blood on them, use like the metal paints, and move on from there. Yeah, and then we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much where I'm at right now. My goal is not to do too much with these, other than, it's the first army I use, so I know the rules for them. When the old world starts, I'll probably have a Dark Elf army ready to go, so I can at least play some of the rules when I see the PDF. But once I finish that, hopefully I'll be in a spot where I'll be better with green stuff. I'll be back to where I used to be with that, and I'll be better with painting. I'll be back to where I was with that, and I can start working on what I want, something a little more fun, something along the line. I really want to do a Chaos Army. And once I have that going, I can go crazy and make all sorts of conversions. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. One thing I'm not a fan of these poses either. Like when you look at one, you're like, wow, that's such a dynamic pose. And when you look at them all in the lines, you're like, I don't know, Rockettes without tempo. They're all like, no, I'm kicking. What are you doing? The other way, it was like when they had plastic sprues. It's like you throw one arm on one body, throw a leg on another. Fine, they look different and they're fine, but it is what it is. I'm gonna keep going with them. Clearly, I did also buy the Ideneth Deep Ken, which are kind of funky. Yeah, let's shine the light right on you. Which I don't know. I feel like I can do all sorts of stuff with that, and I probably will. So that's where the channel is now. If you if you're someone who was on watching the DCL content, I'm sorry it's all gone, and I hope you're doing all right. Let me know what you're up to at least. who knows, maybe you're doing Warhammer too. If you're new to the channel watching Warhammer, I will plan on doing more. I really want to start doing battle reports. When the old world comes out, so if you live in the Brooklyn area or anywhere in that general vicinity, hit me up and we can film some stuff. I'll get a GoPro hooked up with some mics, and we'll see what happens. I just think it'll be kind of fun to get back into it, get into the community. Oh yeah, I also didn't touch the bases because the old world apparently will have square bases, and I'll have to take them out anyway. So that's what that's all about. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and again, hit me up, anything you want to see. If you, once I get a little better, I might even show a painting video, but I'm still not at that point where I'm confident in I'm not back to where I was. So I think there are touches here where I'm like, yeah, you really nailed that. You really nailed that. But then I'm like, but you didn't nail that. And if you look, I'm sure there are places where I'm not gonna be able to paint because I put them together first. But regardless, let me know what you want. Yeah, hopefully I'll see some of you somewhere. And I do plan on going to a convention for sure, or a games day for sure this year. I think there's one in March near Chicago. So hopefully I'll have something to bring there at least. Maybe not these guys, maybe someone else, but we'll see. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye now.